Did women come to the clinic already knowing most of the time that they wanted an abortion, and they came in and said something like, I'm a student, I cannot do this, I need to have an abortion? Or did they come for some kind of help and guidance, and you guys kind of had to steer them in the direction of saying, you can't do this, you need an abortion?
I would say it's about 50-50. So about half the women came in, they know that Planned Parenthood is an abortion clinic.
Right.
I mean, so they find out they're pregnant. That's the first call they make. That's the first door that they open. But about half of women came to us because they had a positive pregnancy test at home. They wanted a pregnancy test at a clinic. It's positive at home. It's probably going to be positive at the clinic. And so, they would come to us seeking help, seeking support and guidance. And here's the thing. If a woman decides to parent her child, we can't, that's where our assistance stops at Planned Parenthood, because we don't provide any prenatal care. We don't have any resources for her, baby items, diapers, anything like that, right? Mm-hmm. So essentially, she becomes a person who is not revenue generating for us.
Right.
So we don't want her in our doors anymore.
Right.
So we send her on her way.
Right.
If a woman chooses life, but then decides to place for adoption, it's the same situation. It's not like we worked with adoption agencies or we got some sort of kickback for adoption referral, right? So it's the same. She's now become a money drain on us, a time suck on us. And so we send her out the door. Mm-hmm. The only way that we could keep our patients as revenue generating clients was to sell them an abortion. And honestly, it's a pretty easy sell. Convincing a woman who's already scared and vulnerable that she's too weak to be a parent, that's really easy. And right. The easiest client to sell on an abortion, unfortunately, was women who were Christians.
Really? Why is that?
Shame. They didn't want to disappoint their parents, didn't want to disappoint their church, didn't want to be an embarrassment. They had essentially gotten caught in their sin. And it's a sin that you have to basically wear for 9 months, right?
Like Scarlet Letter, right?
But the consequence of the sin, and it's a sin unlike any other, right? Because you cheat on your spouse, you get away with it, nobody knows. Maybe your husband finds out, but nobody else knows. Whatever it is. I mean,
right.
Sin generally is private,
right?
It involves someone in their private life.
Right.
And even though it may affect multiple people,
pregnancy is public. You're right.
And this, getting caught having sex outside of marriage, that's a very public, you get pregnant. That's a very public sort of view of your sin. And so in order to not have to deal with that, women would come in and have abortions. And we would have women who would come in and they would call us and say, do you have a back entrance to the clinic? And we would say, no, we just have one entrance, what's going on? And they would say, oh, well, people from my church are outside praying and I don't want them to see me. Or we had women who said, I used to pray outside of your clinic. And I know the people who are out there and I don't want them to see me walk in.